How do you decide which causes to support?
I don't even look at it like that, man. It's just, and one of my news interviews that I did, they asked me that same question, and I always say the same thing. You know what I mean? I look at every time that I get a phone call, like if the man upstairs sent me a text message and it's like, hey, I just showed you what's out there.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
No.
I'm gonna attack it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna turn away. Um, now I've had some people call for help for things they shouldn't be asking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's
It seems like that will happen.
it does. It
Yeah.
happens a lot more than people think. You know what I mean? I get a lot of like, I'm about to lose my car and this and that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't help in that situation where they want me to use the platform that I have and the community trust. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because you couldn't pay a bill,
Yep.
right? You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I still try to help in some way, because I can understand that, I've been there before where,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I've, lost my job and, you know what I mean? The oil field crashed and I got laid off and,
Hmm.
you think you got enough money saved up until your bills start running. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You start coming in
Oh yeah.
fast. So, so I've been there. So I still try to help personally, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? How I can. But when it comes to tragic events, kids, I just don't have the heart to say no to. So you
Mm.
know what I mean. These two that I did, you know, the one I did yesterday was a good friend of mine. That I mean, we talk about this cancer stuff, right? This is an ugly disease.
Hmm.
It's killing people. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, record numbers every month, every day.
Yeah.
There's a record amount of people that are dying from cancer.
Oh wow.
And my good friend Joe, he reached out to me. I mean, did one for him about a year and a half ago when he first found out.
Mm.
And then I mean, he reached out again. Came back aggressive on him. So we did that one, and then the one that I did today was for a family that lost their house in a house fire. With two young girls that possibly got this happened like 2 o'clock in the morning. And they more than sure that they ended up with some smoke inhalation,
Ooh, house fire, bro.
stuff like that. And thank God that they were able to get, the dad was able to get his family out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they lost everything. Like
Mm.
their house went from beautiful home that what I mean that he built for his family to almost looking like what I mean he lived in the slum. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So we did that today, and man, it was a beautiful, successful. Both of them were sold out. And the
Hmm.
community showed up
Nice.
like they do. You know what I mean? Every time.
Wow. That's something to be said about our community, like, because we always get a bad rap and stuff like that. But to
Mhm.
hear stories like that, it's like,
Well, see, the thing is, I tell people all the time, man. I mean, people don't give Corpus enough credit,
mm,
right? Because they want to focus on the negativity.
yeah,
And my goal at one point was just to like let's show the other side. Let's see how much attention we can give with the positivity.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's going. You know what I mean? Like those. I'll tell you a quick story, man. We was this today about 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? I was there, and we were loading Bertha up. We were wrapping the turkey legs, and
Mhm.
the ladies in the front, they're coming like, "Hey Pete, come here." You know what I mean? There's somebody who wants to talk to you.
mm,
So I go up there, and there's this older gentleman. He's probably in his 80s, right? 70s,
yeah,
75. Come up, and he was just like, "Man, he says, I just want to thank you for everything that you do, and this and this and that." And I said, "Well, thank you." And I saw that he had, the Marines asked him if he was in the service. He said, "Yes, I want to thank you for your services."
oh wow,
And he was just like, he goes, "I want to thank you what you do for." He goes, "I've been living in Corpus Christi my whole life." You know what I mean? He goes, I want to come personally thank you for your services and what you do for the community." I said, "Well, thank you." You know what I mean? I said, "But it's not just me. I mean, there's a team of people." You know what I mean?
yeah,
He said, "Yeah, but it starts with you."
mm,
And when he said it like that, man, it struck me.
mm,
And well, the man started crying,
no,
bro. So I got talked earlier. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a problem showing emotion. I don't have.
mm,
So when I saw that he was crying, he just he goes. I just wanted. I had to come and meet you and thank you. You know what I mean? And so I'm sitting there like, I want right here for, start getting emotional with this guy. You know what I mean? But, I did, you know what I mean? And, he asked for a hug, you know what I'm saying? So, I gave him a hug and, he was like, man, he goes, I want to make a donation to you. I was like, well, I don't take donations. I said, but he says, but I want to give it to you.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, I mean, the guy handed me $20, right? And I was just like, I said, thank you. You know what I'm saying? He said, no, you just keep doing what you're doing and, bringing the community together. And he goes, and he started asking like, well, I mean, who are these? I said, well, these are people that I've helped in the past. I mean, they're coming to pay it forward and come help out and stuff like that. And he just like, he's just like he was like, I love it. You know what I mean? Please continue. Me and my wife, we love to see when we see you on the news. And that's how he found out about me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because he saw they did a little news story on Bertha yesterday.
Oh,
so
nice.
he was like, man, we had to come. He goes, I wanted to see her in person.